There's a habit that almost every single one of us has. We do it every day, and it's quietly, sneakily weakening our brain. I'm talking about the part of your brain that decides if you feel sharp and on point or kind of foggy and scattered. So let's dive right into what this habit is, what it's really doing to your mind, and most importantly, how we can start to turn this whole thing around.
So, let me ask you this. Have you been feeling more distracted lately, more mentally tired, or just overwhelmed by stuff that used to feel easy? If you're nodding along, I want you to know you are not imagining it. This isn't just you getting older, and it's definitely not some kind of character flaw like you're just bad at focusing.
Turns out, new research is showing that these feelings are a direct result of our digital habits. You know what I'm talking about. The doom scrolling, the constant hopping from one app to the next, getting sucked into that black hole of short videos. It seems there was some truth to those old warnings about our phones rotting our brains.
See, the real problem isn't just screens themselves, it's how we're using them. The villain in the story is something called micro-switching. It's that constant, super fast, almost unconscious switching from an email to a text, to a social feed, to a news alert. It's a nonstop drip of novelty that is literally rewiring our minds.
This quote really just nails it. Every single time you make one of those little switches, you're basically doing a rep at the gym for distraction. You're not training your brain for deep, satisfying focus. You're teaching it to constantly hunt for the next little hit of something new. And if you've ever felt that restless, buzzing feeling in your head, yeah, this is probably why.
So, what is actually happening inside your brain when you're stuck in that scroll and switch cycle? Let's break down the science here, but don't worry, we'll keep it simple. There are real, measurable neurological impacts, and honestly, understanding them is the first big step to fixing them. Okay, so the research points to 3 major cognitive hits. First, just weaker attention. That feeling like you can't really sink into anything anymore. Second, poorer executive function, and we'll talk about what that is in just a second. And third, more impulsive decision-making. You just become more reactive, jumpier, and even simple choices can feel overwhelming. So let's zoom in on that executive function. Think of it like the CEO of your brain. It's the boss that plans things, stops you from doing impulsive stuff, and keeps you on track. When your CEO gets weaker, that's when you sit down to answer one important email, and 10 minutes later, you look up and you're somehow scrolling through social media with no idea how you got there. That's a failure of your brain's CEO to keep you on task.
And get this isn't just a feeling, it's something you can actually see. Brain imaging studies are showing reduced gray matter in the parts of the brain that act as the control center for focus and emotional regulation. But, and this is so important, this is not permanent brain damage. It is absolutely reversible. The change is real, but so is your power to change it back.
So how can you tell if this is already happening to you? Well, let's do a quick little self-assessment right now. This will make it super personal and help you see just how much this digital habit might be impacting your day-to-day life.
It's super simple. I'm going to list 6 common signs of an overstimulated brain. For each one that sounds a little too familiar, just put a finger down. No judgment, just be honest with yourself. Ready? Okay, number 1. You try to read a book, but you can't get through more than a page or two without your hand just automatically reaching for your phone. Number 2, you lose your train of thought right in the middle of a sentence. Number 3, you open your phone with a plan to do one specific thing, and you end up doing 5 other things instead. Number 4, you feel totally drained after tasks that really shouldn't be that hard. 5, you find yourself bouncing between a million browser tabs like a pinball machine. And number 6, you just feel mentally cluttered pretty much all day long. All right, so how many fingers do you have down? If you've got 3 or more, that's a really clear sign that your brain is overstimulated and your focus muscles have gotten weak. But hey, don't freak out. This isn't a life sentence. Your brain is amazingly adaptable. So now, let's talk about how to rebuild it.
All right, let's get into the good stuff, the practical steps. This is not about feeling guilty. It's about getting equipped with the right toolkit. We're going to walk through 4 science-backed strategies you can start using, like today, to reclaim your brain.
Here's our game plan. First, we're going to talk about something called deep work reps. Next, we'll get into specific training for your working memory. Then, we'll cover how to set some real, meaningful boundaries with your devices. And finally, and this one's a big one, scheduling actual recovery time for your brain.
First up, deep work. And forget this idea that you have to be in some kind of monk-like focus mode for hours. Nope, you start small. Think of it like interval training at the gym, but for your brain. You set a timer for just 10, maybe 30 minutes, you focus on one single thing, no distractions, and then you take a break. That's 1 rep. The more of these you do, the stronger that focus muscle gets. Okay, let's fill up your cognitive toolkit. To train your working memory, try a brain training game for about 15 minutes a day. They're like lifting mental weights. Next, to stop that unconscious twitch to open distracting apps, you need to add friction. That could be using an app locker or even just moving those apps off your home screen. Third, guard your mornings. A no-scroll morning where you don't look at a feed for the first hour is a total game changer. And finally, schedule 1 or 2 attention recovery windows every day. That's 30 to 60 minutes with zero digital input. Let your nervous system actually reset.
I know, that can still feel like a lot to remember. So, to make this super practical, I'm going to give you a simple, concrete 7-day challenge that you can start right now to begin this rewiring process.
For the next week, just 7 days, try this. Every single morning, no scrolling for the first hour you're awake. Every single day, do one focused 10 to 30-minute deep work session. And every other day, spend 10 to 15 minutes doing some kind of brain training exercise. Just stick to that for 1 week. I promise, your brain is going to feel different.
At the end of the day, here's what I really want you to take away. If you've been struggling with focus, you do not have a motivation problem. You don't have a willpower problem. You have an overstimulation problem. And the best news of all is that it is absolutely 100% reversible. Your ability to think deeply, to focus, to feel calm and in control, it's not gone. It hasn't disappeared forever. It's just been trained to go in the wrong direction. It is still right there, just waiting for you to retrain it, to strengthen it, and to take back your mental clarity. Ultimately, it all boils down to a simple choice. A choice you make probably dozens of times every single day. The choice between the easy, endless, mindless stimulation of the feed and the focused, meaningful effort that actually leads to a life of purpose. So, which one are you going to choose?